If you've ever said, I love winter, but I don't like to ski, then this video is for you. Europe has completely changed the way that I think about winter, not as a season to endure, but as one to experience. In this video, I'm sharing the ultimate guide to winter holidays in Europe for non-skiers. From easy outdoor activities to blood-pumping adventures, I'll show you how to make winter your favorite season. No ski boots required. And if you stay till the end, I've got a special gift for anyone planning a winter getaway to Europe. Hey, I'm Angela. I moved from the US to Europe 6 years ago, and I've completely fallen in love with winter. Not just skiing, though I've learned to love that too, but the entire culture around winter here. Where I grew up, winter meant staying indoors, but in Europe, it's a season to get outside, breathe the cold air, and live in the snow. So if you're not into alpine skiing, or you're just looking for some fresh inspiration for how to enjoy winter in Europe, I've got you covered. Let's start with some ski-adjacent options. Winter sports that get you out into nature without requiring you to hurl yourself down a mountain. These are perfect for travelers who want movement, scenery, and a little quiet beauty along the way. Cross-country skiing is an excellent winter sport for both burning calories and enjoying nature, and it has some noticeable differences from downhill skiing. Both forms of skiing have their own types of gear and techniques. The biggest difference, though, is terrain. Cross-country skiing happens on a flat landscape. The terrain is groomed into trails that wind through forests or across open fields. The sport focuses on traversing long distances rather than navigating the steep downhill descents of alpine skiing. Cross-country skiing engages your whole body for forward movement that resembles kind of gliding or skating. The skis used for cross-country skiing are narrower and lighter, and the back of the boots actually lift off the skis to produce that essential gliding motion. One of the biggest attractions of cross-country skiing is that you're able to glide through these beautiful winter landscapes at a slower pace. I remember driving through northeastern Italy in the winter through a village called Dobbiaco in the Dolomites and watching the cross-country skiers glide across the flat pistes. It looked so peaceful, and it made me want to really try cross-country skiing this winter. Snowshoeing is a fantastic way to see the natural landscape, even if you don't have a ton of physicality or the technique to try cross-country skiing. Simply strap on a pair of snowshoes, grab a couple of poles for stability, and start walking. Similar to hiking, snowshoeing relies on footwear that will prevent you from sinking too deep into the snow. Snowshoes are built with a wide foot pad that spreads your weight across the snow so that you can walk on top of it rather than sinking straight down. But not only is it a good workout, it's also a great way to immerse yourself in the peaceful winter scenery. Most ski rental shops also rent snowshoes, and some resorts even offer complimentary rentals of snowshoes for their guests. If the idea of walking through the snow with snowshoes on your feet sounds less than appealing, you could forego them altogether and brave the terrain for a winter hike. Alpine destinations like Innsbruck, Austria, have marked winter trails that allow guests to experience incredible mountain views without having to hit the slopes. Zermatt, Switzerland is another destination with an impressive network of winter hiking trails for those who want to see the Matterhorn up close, but don't ski. If you're opting for winter hiking though, make sure you wear reliable footwear like heavy hiking boots in case you run into some ice patches. Not every winter activity requires you to break a sweat. Exhilarating rides let you glide, zoom, or dash through the snow, all while staying bundled up and taking in the magic of the landscape. A winter sleigh ride is like stepping into a Christmas carol. Most sleigh rides are still led by horses, and the sound of hooves clapping cobblestones or the jingle of sleigh bells only adds to the sensory experience. Wrapping up in blankets is a must, And the best sleigh ride operators will even offer a hot beverage before beginning. Is there anything more cozy? A sleigh ride is a great option for those who like the idea of gliding through frosty forests or snowy fields, but aren't too excited about cross-country skiing or snowshoeing. While plenty of winter sleighs are built for 2 people and ideal for romantic rides, others can accommodate as many as 6 passengers, ideal for groups or families. And honestly, even if you're a skier, don't miss the chance to climb aboard a sleigh for this charming ride. If your travels take you to Nordic countries like Norway or Sweden or Finland, you have to try dog sledding. A much more thrilling ride than you'll find in a simple horse-drawn carriage, dog sledding is done at higher speeds and much lower to the ground. Sleds are often pulled by husky breeds, either Alaskan or Siberian. It's an incredibly unique way to explore these snowy terrains and exhilarating too. Almost every winter resort relies upon snowmobiles for the transport of goods and personnel between the town center and the mountains. But at a few select resorts in Europe, you can ride through nature on these winter all-terrain vehicles. Now, I have a snowmobiling story from my very first ski trip, but I don't recommend that you experience snowmobiling the way that I did. I took the wrong chairlift to a slope that was way outside of my skill level and had to have the Italian Snow Patrol bring me back down. The better way to experience snowmobiling is through a dedicated tour. Snowmobile tours are common in Iceland, Norway, and Finland, as well as in certain parts of the Italian Alps. These are powerful machines, and they'll take you through winter scenery at speeds you can only imagine. Some folks actually tire of skiing because it's not adventurous enough. If you're one of those adventure seekers, then these icy experiences are for you. They're a little more daring, a lot more intense, and guaranteed to give you some serious bragging rights. Ice climbing is a winter sport in which you climb up frozen waterfalls, ice-covered rock faces, or glaciers. It requires special equipment like ice axes and crampons. A lot like rock climbing, but on frozen surfaces, ice climbing is an entirely different challenge due to the need to constantly find new handholds and footholds. Needless to say, ice climbing is not a one-man show. You need to be roped up for safety, along with a partner or a guide to secure you from below. It is a challenging activity that is not for the faint of heart. A lot of European mountain resorts offer some form of ice climbing in the winter, especially those places that are snowshore or located next to a glacier. Ice skating is a classic winter activity that's both fun and a little bit of a workout. It's also accessible to a wide variety of skill levels. If you're anything like me, ice skating makes you want to pretend like you're in the Olympics, and that alone is a lot of the fun. While locals may venture out on a frozen lake for ice skating, as a visitor, it's always best to only skate on sanctioned outdoor or indoor rinks. You'll rent a pair of ice skates, shoes with a thin metal blade on the bottom that allows you to glide along the ice. In the beginning, expect to be a little bit wobbly, but once you get the hang of moving on ice skates and you master your balance, you'll be able to start doing gentle laps around the rink. And if you're really good, you'll be able to do small spins or even little jumps. Every time I go ice skating, I spend the first half holding onto the rink for dear life or latching onto the arm of whoever I'm with. But by the second half of the outing, I'm doing laps and living out my Winter Olympics fantasy. One curious winter activity for non-skiers is less of a physical test than a mental one. Would you sleep overnight in an igloo made of ice? Well, in Europe, you can. These specially constructed igloos that host guests for overnight stays can be found in parts of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany, as well as Finland and Norway. These accommodations are kept at a steady below freezing temperature. Guests are equipped with thermal sleeping bags and reindeer skins and thick blankets for extra warmth. These igloo hotels often feature restaurants or a small ice bar. A few even have attached saunas. It's certainly a bit of an adventure, staying overnight in a structure made of ice, but with the right sleeping bag and proper layers, a lot of folks find it comfortable. Either way, you'll have an unforgettable story to tell forever. Winter is the season when nature slows down. And sometimes the best thing we can do is take our cue from that rhythm. The next experiences offer a different kind of magic: stillness, warmth, and rest. A visit to the spa is always a good idea, but it's especially wonderful as a refuge from the cold, icy conditions outside. And thermal spas are the most pure way to relax and unwind in Europe. Thermal spas are wellness centers built around native hot springs. The main attractions are the naturally heated, mineral-rich waters with multiple treatment rooms like soaking pools, steam baths, and aromatherapy rooms. Thermal spas boast health benefits like relieving muscle tension and improving circulation. Famous spas like the Bad Gastein-Felsen-Therme in Austria are particularly popular. Another winter activity for those traveling to the far north of Nordic countries like Sweden and Finland, or even Iceland, is watching the aurora borealis. Also known as the Northern Lights, watching the aurora borealis is on the top of a lot of travelers' lists as a must-see experience. There are tons of hotels and accommodations in places like Sweden and Iceland that specialize in hosting folks that have come to see this natural wonder. For prime views of the Northern Lights, consider taking a guided tour to enhance the experience. Just keep in mind, they can kind of be a little fickle. You may make an entire trip out of seeing the Northern Lights, only for them to not show up. If you're a non-skier planning a trip to Europe, let me know which of these winter activities is calling your name. Or if you've already done one of these yourself, I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video if it gave you some good ideas. Europe has some of the most breathtaking winter scenery in the world. And now you know how to enjoy it, even if you're not a skier. But planning a trip to Europe can be a tad overwhelming for first-timers. If you're looking for some help to make that European vacation a reality, then you'll love my free email course, How to Plan a Trip to Europe. Over 8 easy-to-digest emails, I'll walk you step-by-step through the trip planning process, from picking a destination and booking flights to packing the right layers. The link is in the description below. I'll help you make sure that your trip is smoother, cozier, and a lot more fun. And if you're looking for more winter in Europe inspiration, then watch this video next to keep your vacation brainstorm going.